Welcome to the latest edition of the Codcast. I'm Paul Connolly.
Chip forward now, looking for Timon. Headed across there to Leighton Watts. Watts with the effort off the post, and it's in! Leighton Watts opens the scoring for Whitby Town. A lovely move on a Smith ball towards Timon, headed in field onto the edge of the box, and Leighton Watts there to finish it via the post. Watts looking to slip it through there to a Whitby shirt. It's dropped on the edge of the penalty area. Following it is Jake Charles! What a strike from Jake Charles! First time, fired it into the back of the net. Battersby had no chance. Rides the challenge into the box here. Jake Charles hacked down. That's got to be a penalty, and it is. Referee's whistle sounds. Charles steps up, and it's 3!
That was all of the action from Tuesday night's fantastic 3-0 win away at Cleethorpes Town. A first-time visit to Cleethorpes for the Seasiders. The commentary from myself and Liam Ryder on This Is the Course Whitby Extra. I'm delighted to say that Liam joins me now, as does Andrew Snaith. I know you were keeping up to date with things from home on Tuesday night. I'd imagine that you couldn't quite believe your eyes or believe your ears if you were listening.
Yeah, well, absolutely. After witnessing Saturday, I expected another good performance. I certainly hoped so, and it sounds like that's what exactly happened. That it was a continuation of the good performance against Warrington Rylands, and on this occasion, it was translated into goals. It was that old thing where people say, "Oh, well, Whitby could have buried them by half time," and on Tuesday night, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it certainly was. Obviously opened the scoring 5 minutes in. Leighton Watts with a lovely first-time finish, and then Jake Charles had in the second and the third. The third one coming just before half-time. Liam, in terms of the performance on the evening, I don't think Lee Bullock and Jason Kennedy could have asked for literally any more at all.
No, well, I think looking at it, it was probably Whitby's best performance of the season in terms of the all-round game, attacking-wise and defensively. I think it's only... I know I've had the 4-0 against Warrington Town early in the season, but I think other than that, it's sort of been really probably the reverse fixture against Rushall, where I've actually had sort of a comfortable-ish scoreline of a couple of goals. But to get a 3-0 win, massive there. And, it's 3 games unbeaten now as well, of course. And the fourth game, that first one under Jason Kennedy and Lee Bullock, very unlucky in that one there. So, a bit of momentum building there. And in terms of the table as well, it was an all-round good night for us when you look at our results, and also Hebburn doing us a favour by getting a victory against Stocksbridge, which has now put us 7 points clear of the bottom 3. So that's key. But I think all round really that performance, that result really I think has been coming over the last couple of weeks in terms of maybe not the Bamber Bridge performance because of the uniqueness of that match, but you look at Saturday's second half against Warrington Rylands, it felt like we've been due a win like that, and it was just good to really actually put a team to the sword in the first half and score a few goals, which is something, as mentioned many times, we've struggled to do this season.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, isn't it? Obviously, building those performances from Lee Bullock's return all the way through. We've spoken quite a bit about how Bully's been working on pretty much nothing but shooting, getting opportunities. Working around Matty Timon, playing off him, and obviously, since that's happened, Matty Timon's got 3 goals. He got an assist on Tuesday night. But now as well, we've got Leighton Watts chipping in with goals. We've got Jake Charles with a goal and a penalty on Tuesday night. So it's been nice really for sort of all of us to see that progression from the first game against Gainsborough, where we lost the game late on and possibly could have had a point. To Cleethorpes on Tuesday night, where we've gone out and emphatically beaten our opponents, Andrew.
Well, that's right, Paul. Yeah, it's really refreshing. You can see that they've had a greater emphasis on scoring goals, converting chances. I'd love for Jake Charles just to go on and have a real run of appearances and goals. I don't feel that we've quite seen the very best of him yet. And also, yes, we're starting to see the Leighton Watts we saw towards the end of last season, aren't we? With the threat that he poses going forward, and we talked about it last week, didn't we, when we got the news that Donald Chimalilo had left the club, and whether that might give more opportunity to people like Leighton Watts, and maybe in the 2 games that followed, we've seen evidence that maybe is the case.
Absolutely. Yeah, one person that you mentioned there while you were answering that, Goose, was Jake Charles, and Liam caught up with him following the game on Tuesday night.
Well, Charlo, 2 goals for yourself this evening. Most important for the cross, getting those 3 points, the first under Lee Bullock and Jason Kennedy.
Yeah, pretty much tonight. I think it was a complete away performance. Really, we were sharp on the counter in the first half, and then second half we defended really well. Didn't have as much as the ball, but like I said, we got the job done, and yeah, great team performance.
Yeah, in the last few weeks we've seen a few slow starts from Whitby, but this time was a complete opposite. Really put out the blocks flying, and the early goal from later was sort of really setting you up nicely for that one.
Absolutely, yeah, we were on it from the start. It's always hard in it, long trips on a Tuesday night, but the lads applied themselves brilliantly tonight, and yeah, everyone grafted the nuts off, and it was a great team performance, like I said.
Yeah, and for you as well, I don't know if you've probably hit 2 harder shots in your life there, really, because the first one just emphatic, first effort your left foot, and then the penalty as well.
Yeah, just when it's coming at you like that and you've got so much time, and it's the first time, I just thought head down, find the net, do you know what I mean? And then the penalty. I was just about to shoot as well when he's brought me down, and then I thought, yeah, same again, picked my spot and laced it through.
Yeah, just looking at the penalty as well, we've seen a few players take them this season. Is that something you sort of wanted to put yourself forward for?
Yeah, I think naturally when you win a penalty, ran quite a long way with the ball, and I think as well because I shanked one out of play kind of a minute before, I kind of wanted to make amends there. I said thanks to Leighton after for trusting me. Usually I think I've not actually been on the pitch when we've had a pen, so I think Leighton usually takes him, but you know, he let me have that, and then obviously scored it, so yeah.
Yeah, and then the second half a bit different, more sort of backs against, which I guess you probably expected there, but good to see the defence holder firm, and likes yourself and Haswell as well too, getting back involved to help out the defensive cause.
Absolutely, yeah. We organised second half. We were banked in at times under pressure, but we defended really well as a team. Obviously, we'd have liked to have played in their half a little bit more, settled the game a little bit, but in the end, obviously, it's a well-deserved 3 points for us tonight.
Yeah, and then a similar type of match, I'm sure, on Saturday down at Rushall, the reverse fixture brought out probably one of the better home performances this season, but a chance to really express yourself on a 3G down there.
Yeah, different type of game, obviously going away from home on a different sort of pitch, but we need to go down there, apply yourself like we have tonight, and yeah, get the job done again. It's going to be hard. Every game in this league is very, very hard and difficult, especially at this stage of the season, but yeah, we're going down there and trying to bring some points home again.
That was Jake Charles talking to Liam Ryder following the conclusion of Cleethorpes Town 0, Whitby Town 3. So we'll change tack a little bit from that one. Obviously a great result, but this week a bit of movement in the squad. Obviously we saw Donald Chimalilo depart last week. This week Ronnie McGrath and Michael Woods both depart in the football club. Liam, obviously Ronnie was going to be missing for the rest of the season anyway, but Michael Woods as well. I think, you know, credit to him. I think we can show a bit of appreciation to him in terms of, you know, the efforts that he brought and the contribution to staying up last season.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? He was brought in as an experienced head when we were in a relegation scrap last season, and made a real good impact there, didn't he? Straight away, a debut goal. I think ultimately it's these injuries that have really sort of hampered his game time, because I think on his day he's probably, one of the best midfielders in the league, you could argue, with the quality and the experience he's got there. He's a natural leader, obviously knows the league very well, knows non-league football very well. And I think really his presence, it will be missed. It's not just good to have in the squad, but off the field as well. He's always been one of those players that's gone out there and made an effort to sort of chat to people, the volunteers at the Tobar Express Stadium. So that will be missed definitely from him. But I think really it's going to be a case of, he hasn't played much, hasn't really featured at all under Lee Bullock and Jason Kennedy over the last few weeks. Obviously injury probably having its own spell on that, but only found himself on the bench at times. So as we get to this sort of back end of the season now, you tend to see players that will leave. But yeah, he will be a miss. Woodsy in particular, he's a big leader, but I think we've got other leaders in the squad as well. Lewis Hawkins, of course, the captain, he's the obvious one there. So it's a shame to see him go, but you can see why it has come about, and ultimately it's a decision by mutual consent. And then Ronnie as well, the other player we mentioned. I feel like, again, a shame for him, because what we saw in pre-season at the start of this league campaign, there was there was plenty of energy and technical quality within him, and versatility as well, which is something that's always useful. But it says a lot, really. He just hasn't got going. This injury that seems to rumble on for ages. We never know what could have been had he actually got a full season out of him. But it is what it is. And again, wish him all the best, as I do with Woodsy, and hopefully, different players at different areas of their career. Hopefully for Ronnie, he can go on and get himself back to full fitness first, and then hopefully see him back involved in football again before too long.
Yeah, two players I'm sure departing on good terms in that respect. Yeah, Andrew, with Ronnie McGrath, of course, like you say, we certainly saw pre-season those flashes of brilliance in the friendlies, and at times earlier in this season, the opening day came on and made a big impact away at Workington. He was, played in the second half at Stockbridge where he got his first goal for the club. But yeah, ultimately with the injuries and everything, it's a shame really that we haven't really seen him hit anywhere near what his potential could be.
Yeah, it's interesting, Paul. I mean, obviously we were talking about DC last week, and now we're talking about Ronnie McGrath having left the club, and they were almost, they were the two trialists, weren't they, that we saw through the summer, the outstanding trialists, the number 6 and the number 8 as they became known before they were signed, and yeah, they did promise so much. Whether they've delivered is going to be, I guess it's subject to discussion, isn't it? Open to interpretation. Was it worth taking a punt on them? Yes, I think so. And I think we saw, some really exciting flashes of DC, and a little bit from Ronnie as well at the start of the season. And unfortunately for him, he's one of those players who looks like his time at Whitby was blighted by injury, which is a great shame, because I think he came across very well, and he was a good lad and a hard worker. And it's a shame that it hasn't quite, as you say, it hasn't quite worked out, and we haven't quite been able to see his full quality there. But obviously wish both DC and Ronnie and Michael Woods all the very best with the next chapter of their careers.
Yeah, absolutely. So after the game on Tuesday night, Liam had a chat with the Whitby Town manager, Lee Bullock. No mention of the two departing names, but I'm sure we'll get reference to that on the next show. So here's Lee Bullock chatting to Liam Ryder.
Well, Bullock, it's the first victory under yourself and Jason Kennedy, and it's probably as a convincing performance as you'll see. Yeah, I'm just basically over the moon for the lads. We asked them before the game, we wanted goals and points, and they've produced both. We talked about the sacrifices that they make, taking half days off work, Matty Timon driving across the country 4.5 hours to get here, taking days off tomorrow, make it worthwhile. That's the commitment to show. Go and do it out there. And I thought first half was brilliant, really good. We got the goals, and then second half, just a willingness not to concede, and lads throwing the body on the line. To come away somewhere like this on a Tuesday night, the journey and the days some of them have had, it's brilliant. I'm so proud of them. Yeah, in that first half as well, you mentioned a few weeks ago you wanted players to shoot more, and you could certainly see that, and the two of the goals coming from first-time finishes.
Yeah, Leighton, that's been coming, hasn't it, for a couple of games. He's been getting closer and closer. That same move has happened 3 times now, and tonight, lovely left foot volley and off the post. It's a great start for us and a great platform. So well done to Leighton, and also Matty for whoever it was for having the awareness just to drop him in there.
And some good all-round team moves as well throughout the match that we saw. That goal there you mentioned, and any build to the second goal as well. Some real quick passing movements there.
Yeah, I think we caused a lot of issues down the side with Charles. He got the better of his man. We asked him to get the better of the opponents tonight, and I think he did. He proved it. He's got a great goal, and then he's made the penalty and stuck that one away as well. So it's just, there was no standout performance tonight. I think it was just a whole massive team effort from Shane right through to Jarrett, who came on the last couple of minutes. Just a willingness to go and dig ourselves out of this little mess we're in and go and get 3 points on the board.
And just further on Charles as well, we've seen the last 2 weeks him playing more on the left hand side. Today it was deployed from the right. Do you think that's perhaps something that suits a bit more, having that chance to cut out his left foot?
Probably, yeah. He drifted in really well, didn't he? Went past the man, no messing, and he's dragged him down. But I just think it's confidence with them all. You see, Matty Timon's playing with a world of confidence. that'll do Leighton good. He'll be full of confidence now. Centre forwards, so I've been drumming him, get in there, shoot, score your goals. And tonight, like I say, I say if we get 2 goals, we'll win the game, because the way they've been willing to defend, and they've gone and got 3 and kept a clean sheet. So perfect night, really.
Yeah, that was it as well in the second half. That determination, even though you're in a comfortable position, maybe conceding 1 goal is not the end of the world, but that pride to sort of protect the clean sheets.
Yeah, because obviously they're a big, strong team. You could see they were raging at half time. We knew they were going to come and have a right go at us, and they peppered our box from every angle going. And it's natural, as much as we say don't sink, let's not let it happen, you do. But I thought the centre halves, the full backs, they defended brilliantly. The lads in front of them dropped on all the seconds. The front lads worked hard to prevent it, and then when we needed big blocks, they threw the body in the way. And as always, when you need Shane to come and catch a cross, he does it all day long. It's easy for him, so you couldn't ask for a better keeper when you need to relieve a bit of pressure.
Yeah, and as well, I think what epitomised that performance was the fact you still had the likes of Jake Charles and the attacking players dropping back to come and support there. Definitely,
yeah, they were. And then the subs that came on, all 4 of them, they all just came on, bang straight into it, worked, ran. Colo left back, people are saying there's no chance he'll play all game. He's been out weeks and weeks injured. Told him with half an hour ago, you're playing 90, so get your head around it, and he's overlapping in the last 10 minutes. So fair play to them. They've just came away tonight with a dedication to play hard and win, and they've done it. But we need to do it again Saturday and the following week, and the following week. We can't just do it now and again. Yeah, you mentioned there about the 2 centre halves. So one of those was missing from the squad, Alex Nelson. Is that just a bit of something that's carried over from Saturday? No, Nelson, he's got something going on away from football. Nothing to worry about, but something he just needs to prepare himself for, and in his work life. So that's why we've got a squad, and he'll be back Saturday with us. That's why we have decent players, and Guinness has stepped in again and showed what an experienced class player he is. And just looking at that game on Saturday, very similar in terms of the league position that Rushall found themselves into to Cleethorpes tonight. A different game entirely on the 3G down there. Yeah, it's the first time I'll have had these lads on a 3G surface. There's some quality players in there. We've shown we can mix it and do the ugly side of it. We've got a tiny bit of breathing space now to continue the hard work, but maybe just go and express ourselves on a surface. So I really look forward to Saturday now. But it can't be after the Lord's Mayor's show of doing this tonight and then turning up there thinking we've cracked it, because we're a long way from that just yet. But we're getting there.
That was Bully following the Cleethorpes match on Tuesday night. So we'll look ahead now to the weekend. Rushall Olympic, a big long journey for the Seasides. We referenced the previous game not so long ago. A win could make it an almost perfect weekend when you look at the fixtures around as well. Obviously, Stocksbridge play Morpeth and Hyde play Prescott. So at least 2 of the teams below us and closest or in that relegation zone will be dropping points this weekend.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? And I think first and foremost, we've just got to do our job. But like we saw on Tuesday, help from elsewhere wouldn't go amiss. And I think the blessing is there where you've got teams like us against Russia, where you've got teams down in that sort of bottom cluster of teams, because it's very congested down there.
Yeah, we're not expecting too many injury worries going into the weekend. Lewis Hawkins made way on Tuesday with a bit of a hamstring niggle, but we're expecting that he should be okay for the weekend. One thing to keep an eye on this weekend, Andrew, Leighton Watts, he picked up his 9th yellow card of the season on Tuesday night. So, potentially if he gets his 10th this weekend, this Saturday, obviously it's before the cut-off point, which is the second Sunday in March. So it makes an interesting one for Leighton, particularly in that respect there, because, if he gets his 10th, it's a 2-game ban that kicks in for, back-to-back home games. It's one of them. It's going to give Lee Bullock and Jason Kennedy a big decision to make, isn't it? As to whether to start with him, which pretty much 100% of the time you would expect that you would, because of the quality he brings, and he's good for a goal, he's good for an assist. But it maybe gives him a bit of a decision to make this weekend as to whether to put him in the side or not to.
It's a real conundrum, but I mean, if you take that edge from Leighton's game, Is he the same player? It's a really good one. I think Lee Bullock and Jason Kennedy will really have to weigh that one up. I suspect they'll maybe risk it with the form that he's in. I do like it that he's got an edge about him. I do feel that every team in the league seems to have that sort of midfielder that's involved in everything. We saw him have a flashpoint on Saturday, the shove, which I think, as we discussed on this programme, was on another day could have resulted in a red card for the opposition player. But yeah, I guess, more importantly, his attacking flair, that quality in the final third seems to have come back. He seems like he's the player that we saw at the tail end of last year, and that in itself is really exciting. So I think in terms of that, and the fact that obviously we still need a few wins yet to be safe, I think Bully and JK will risk it.
So, Leighton Watts, we're mentioning there. I caught up with him yesterday and just had a chat with him about, obviously, the Cleethorpes game and this weekend. And, of course, that relationship that he does have with Lee Bullock and Jason Kennedy.
So, Leighton, we're speaking on Wednesday afternoon following the emphatic 3-0 win over Cleethorpes Town. Just, first of all, I think possibly the most complete Whitby performance of the season last night.
Yeah, definitely. I think that all of us, from Blandy all the way through, were brilliant last night. Obviously scored 3 early goals in the first half, just kind of killed the game, and defended really well in the second half, because we always knew that they were going to have a good goal in the second half.
Yeah, obviously you mentioned there, obviously the early goal, yourself getting that opening goal just 5 minutes into the game, Leighton, and I guess that's something that you've been sort of all working on in recent weeks, is getting bodies around Matty Timon, and obviously you profiting from that with the goal and that lovely finish off the post.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously Matty's brilliant at holding the ball up, so as long as we get bodies around him, we should cause some problems, and obviously we've done that last night really well. I think we showed that in the last 2 big games as well, so yeah, it's all positive.
No, definitely, and I think it was important as well to start the game in the manner in which Whitby did, Leighton, because you look across the last two against sort of Warrington Rylands and Bamber Bridge. They've been sort of slow starts to the games in the opening sort of 10 or 15 minutes, but on this one, Whitby really out and on the front foot and at Cleethorpes.
Yeah, we got out the gates and got at them straight away, so it was good from the start, because I think we need to do that a lot more, because like you say, we have started slowly the last few games, but if we start quick, what we're capable of doing. So
yeah, and obviously Jake Charles adding the second and the third goals. In terms of that Whitby attack, there was a lot of moments in that first half, particularly where there was a real fluidity of Whitby's movement, wasn't there, in creating these spaces and opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we going the execution, and we done it really well last night. Obviously Charlo played really well on the right, so it was all positive signs. Obviously Bully told us we needed to score goals. He said if we scored 2 we'd win the game, so I thought we were a lot more clinical in front of goal last night.
Yeah, absolutely. And for yourself, obviously, we've spoken about the goal, but how important is that goal for you as well? Because obviously, we saw Saturday where you had a decent effort saved. You had your free kick saved in that one on Saturday, and at Bamber Bridge as well. So for you as well, after these couple of games, is it maybe a little bit of a monkey off your back, so to speak?
Yeah, definitely. It's a bit of like a relief, to be fair. Obviously, I've been close in the last few weeks. It's frustrating when you're not scoring, but ultimately, we need the results, so when you help the team get 3 points, it's always better.
And obviously the result last night as well moves Whitby 7 points above the drop zone, obviously with Stocksbridge getting beat by Hebburn Town and Whitby getting that win. That little bit of daylight as well, obviously the pressure isn't off by any means, but it gives you a little bit of breathing space as well.
Yeah, definitely, but we have to keep the foot on the gas, to be fair, because in this league everything changes quick, so we'd rather look up the table than down the table, so we need to keep putting performances together and keep winning.
Yeah, and another big weekend coming up, obviously Rushall Olympic away from home, Leighton. obviously looking at that one, Whitby playing Rushall, but down at the bottom of the division as well, there's Hyde playing Prescott, both of those teams below Whitby and next to each other in the table. And then an even bigger game from that perspective is Stocksbridge and Morpeth. So 3 points on Saturday, which we're all hoping for and working towards, could be potentially the biggest 3 points of the season.
Yeah, definitely, totally agree. But obviously, like you say, we've got to go and get them. It's all right. Seeing that we need the 3 points, we have to ultimately put the performance in and get the 3 points. And I think the lads will. And obviously, if we do, it helps us massively going forward for the season.
And for yourself then, Leighton, obviously we'll sort of touch on this as well. Obviously, Gary Liddell leaving the football club a few weeks ago, who signed you, but Lee Bullock coming in, and for yourself, that must be a positive as well, because you obviously have a good relationship anyway with Jason Kennedy, but over the years you've developed a very good relationship with Lee Bullock.
Yeah, well, obviously I've worked with Bully in the past and I know what he's about. Obviously I get along with him really well and he trusts us as a player. So and obviously JK is just ledge to work with. So it's good having both of them.
Yeah, and for a player like yourself, it must be nice for you as well, knowing that you are well backed by the managers to go out and do what you're best at. Yeah,
definitely, 100%. Just fills you with confidence, obviously, especially when you're a little bit low on confidence, but you've got the backing of the gaffers, so it does give you that little bit more of a boost.
That was Leighton Watt speaking to myself on the Codcast. So, we'll start to wrap things up and go for the usual obligatory mention of Boost the Budget, Liam.
Yep, so again, this initiative's still going. It's got a few more weeks. It can potentially be utilised before the window shuts. But if not, it'll get carried across to the 2026-27 campaign to start building a squad. Potentially some loanees, potentially sort of just, like we said, boosting the budget going into that new season. But, it's a chance again for supporters to contribute towards, strengthening the squad, whether that be this season or next. But, as everyone knows, the struggles of non-league football, we've got 2 players leaving this week, which largely down to not really getting the game time, but also, the financial side of that. It's, and fair play to the players for sort of accepting these terms and going there, and, because ultimately it's 2 players off the wage bill for the rest of the season. But, it's massive to have fans supporting these schemes, and it's going really well, I believe. I'll have to check in with Steve actually what the latest total is, but the direct debits, nobody's cancelled them online, which is great. But if you want to make a contribution and really hopefully see the team progress, and probably more next season, you just go to the Whitby Town website. That's whitbytownfc.com. There's a club shop section on there, and you can just go scroll down and look for Boost the Budget and make a pledge, or alternatively just get in touch with us and we can direct in the right direction to make a one-off pledge or something else if you've got any fun ideas to try and get involved with that next season.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course the Easter draw are approaching as well, Liam, and I believe that we have the tickets online to buy.
Yes, they are now available. I know that the tickets hopefully will be with us on Friday this week as we record. So fingers crossed we'll be able to get them. But yeah, you are able to now buy those online. I know Pete Graham, he's got some that he's already got ready to distribute. And again, if anyone else wants to help with selling tickets, just get in touch with either of us really. Or just get in touch via social media. We can sort something out there. But whitbytownfc.com again for those. Or just head to Turnbull's Bar and get them from there. And also on match days when we have a home game, we'll have the 2 matches before the Good Friday, and then the draw be made on Good Friday itself when we play FC United at Manchester. But they used to draw some great prizes up for grabs. A TV, which is the top prize at the moment, which that's a new one, but the shipping costs covered. A brand spanking new TV for one of your relatives, I believe that one is, Paul. So fair play to them for donating that across. But it's a chance for the community. You don't have to come to Whitby games as such. Just get involved, support the club. And if we get a few grand off the draw, then all the better.
Yeah, absolutely. It is Rushall Olympic away this weekend for all the Seasiders. If you fancy the trip to Dales Lane, the supporters coach leads the Tobar Express Stadium at Turnbull Ground at 9 a.m. on Saturday. So just head to whitbytownfc.com to book your place on that one. £25 person for that one. If you absolutely can't make it down to Dales Lane, and it's going to be a long journey for anyone, let's face it, we'll of course have live commentary on This Is the Coast with the extra from kickoff, and if you can't stay with us for the full 90 minutes through the Wick Town social media channels as well, you'll be able to get the updates there. But all that remains to be said is thank you to our guests this week, Lee Bullock, Jake Charles and Leighton Watts. We'll be back next week with another edition of the Codcast. Bye for now.